I'm really insulted. I mean, that's not right what you just said.
What do you mean, what I just said?
I mean, I'm gonna get a drink of water. I'm late getting home, but you talk. I said something about the greatest heavyweight champ, man. I'm a hometown man, and you talking about Joe Louis, man. Joe Louis wouldn't be nothing for me. Joe will tell you, Joe, do you think you would have stood a chance with me?
Well, Clay, during one time during my career, I went on a bum of the month tour.
Bum of the month? I would have been a bum compared to you.
Well, you've been on the tour.
Oh.
Round 4. People don't want to hear the truth because they don't want their illusions destroyed. If you're a watcher of this video, please leave a comment. The funny thing is, it seems people get things misconstrued. I never said Deontay Wilder wasn't a hard puncher. I never said Deontay Wilder couldn't punch. I never said he couldn't knock a elite fighter out. The question was, is he the hardest puncher in boxing history? The question is his knockout ratio really a determiner of the type of power he possesses when you compare it to the quality of opponents that he's faced? That was my only question. Is he the hardest puncher in boxing history or a cherry picker? Okay, you say he has power. Well, I would actually agree with that. But you still haven't disputed that he's a cherry picker. It's time to examine his next opponent. For his 24th professional fight, Deontay Wilder faced Kurtson Manswell. He had 37 professional bouts, 25 wins, 18 of those wins coming by way of knockout. He suffered 12 defeats. 7 of those defeats came by way of knockout. Kurtson Manswell, I know what you're thinking. This is a man who's probably had to use a lot of Enswell in the corner during the course of his career. As we examine the resume of Mr. Manswell, we will see that he was knocked out by Bermane Stiverne. And then he was knocked out by Alexander. Now, take a look at this. He was on a 2-fight losing streak when he stepped in the ring with Deontay Wilder. But we all know Deontay Wilder, king of the leftovers, the leftover king, Deontay Exotic. He got a hold of Mr. Manswell and he TKO'd him in the first round. It wasn't the end of Mr. Manswell's career, no. He went on to get knocked out by Tor Hamer, Charles Martin, Bogdan Dinu, and Glaskov. Tell me, are you impressed?
That bad of a reach disadvantage, 81 himself, usually 84. It's terrible as he gets nailed, and here comes the Wilder Express. Manswell down. We said something explosive could happen early. It has.
Wilder got excited after the knockdown. Let's see how Manswell comes back. Let's see if he can survive the follow-up here.
Definitely Manswell tie up, or is Wilder going to do what he's been doing? Jab, big right hand for Wilder. Down goes Manswell again. Even though it's no 3 knockdown rule, a 3rd knockdown in the round probably would end it.
Manswell seemed to complain that it was a push. It seemed to be a half a push, but he probably needed the rest anyway.
Manswell walking in here, not tying up. So he's not buying himself any time. Now he ties up, which is what he wants to do.
He seems to have his legs back under him. I think the second knockdown didn't land clean, although those did land clean. There he goes again.
Down he goes for the 3rd time, and that's it.
Stoppage.
So even though, we show it to you time and again, there is no...
Has it become clear? Are you seeing a pattern? Many of Deontay Wilder's opponents don't finish on their back. They finish on their feet. It's just they have no incentive to keep fighting. They showed up for the paycheck. They took a few punches. They went down. They have no desire to stand up and keep fighting. For what? They're not contenders. For what? They don't believe they're going to win. Hell, even if they got up and fought him to a draw, the judges will still give the decision to Deontay because he's the guy they are pushing. Deontay Wilder fought opponents who showed up for a paycheck. Many of them took their good shot on the chin, went down, got up, and collected a check, and rightfully so. But if you let the Deontay Wilder fanboys tell the story, everything he touched fell on the floor and could never get up again. But no, that's not the case. Let's examine his 25th professional bout. Damien Mccreary. Okay, Damien Mccreary started his career at 166 pounds. He fought a man, Nathan Russell, who was 0-2-0. Yes, he beat him, but look at his level of competition. Let's go to Ernest Bruce. 1 win, 5 defeats, 1 draw. Russell Dixon, 4 wins, 8 defeats. Darryl Robinson, 0 wins, 0 defeats, 1 draw. Another thing to look at. He started at 166 pounds, moved up to 170, light heavyweight division, got back down to 166 to 168, back up to 170, but by the time he got to Deontay Wilder, he weighed 262 pounds. How does a man who started at 166 pounds balloon to almost over 100 pounds in weight? So he gained almost 100 pounds, and that's when Deontay Wilder said, "I'll have him." The king of the leftovers. But at this time, he wasn't necessarily a leftover, but he was a shell of the man he was when he started. Deontay Wilder knocked him out in the first round. After Deontay Wilder knocked him out, so did Jordan Schimmel. So did Charles Martin. So did Jarrell Big Baby Miller. Now what you have to think about when you start seeing all these names on a resume, back to back to back, is that man a resume booster? Let's take a look at Deontay Wilder's performance against Damien Mccreary and tell me, are you impressed?
It is very one-sided in favor of Deontay Wilder. He is 13 years younger. He is 8 inches taller and has 10 inches in wingspan.
Attributes or characteristics.
McCreary is not a heavyweight. I've actually seen McCreary fight before. He was a very good super middleweight prospect 5 or 6 years ago. Doesn't belong in the ring as a heavyweight, and Deontay's looking to get him out of there. That was a quick 1-2 that put McCreary down.
I don't think McCreary has the look of a fighter that's going to stay in there too long. So
left hooks and right crosses. That worked 5 years ago and 100 pounds ago, but it's, the weight that he's carrying now, he just can't. Oh, wow, Kais is not counting this as a knockdown.
That was a phantom punch, if I've ever seen one. I think it was more his chest hitting maybe the face of McCreary.
McCreary, I think he's going to say that his right knee hurts. I see it's bandaged up. But let's get a look at that push down in the first round. And yeah, that was a shove down. I thought shove with his lead hand.
And here, round 2, McCreary trying to throw a little bit
he got a right hand in there.
Yeah, he got that right in there. But back comes Wilder with a punch of his own, and there goes McCreary back down to the canvas.
And here is a real knockdown.
Yeah, McCreary just kind of puts his head down and throws some punches in upward direction. Oh, on the way down, he nailed him.
And Raul Kais Sr.
Right. I don't know if he saw that.
Well, he saw something.
He was already down when Wilder threw one final punch.
I think on his way down, Wilder landed a shot sort of to the back of the head, but I think Kais Sr. does not think that McCreary can continue.
No, and Wilder finally breaking that game face, that poker face. We finally see
He's timing McCreary with a left hook. Landed that right, sort of to the back, and then he caught him with a short inside right that put McCreary down on his side.
For good.
In his 26th professional fight, Deontay Wilder faced Calvin Price. His career totals 16 bouts, 14 wins. 6 of those wins coming by way of knockout. He suffered 2 defeats. Both of those defeats came by way of knockout. Look at his alias. The Price is right. And it's obvious. The Price was right for him to become the next bum on the A Bumper Fight Tour. Now, look at his KO percentage. Under 40%. That's very important because he was 13-0 when he fought Deontay Wilder. But with that being said, let's look at the level of his competition. Marvin Ray Jones, 15 wins, 16 defeats, 2 draws. Tony Foster, 3 wins, 9 defeats. Joseph Raybot. We know Joseph Raybot. Remember, he's the guy Teddy Atlas was furious that Deontay Wilder was even in the ring with him. Now, let's get to Deontay Wilder's 26th professional fight. He knocked him out. He KO'd Calvin Price. And Calvin Price had 2 more fights after his loss to Deontay Wilder. His last fight against Amir Mansour for Amir Mansour's 20th professional fight. He quit in the 7th round. You tell me, are you impressed?
It's interesting in talking to Wilder, telling us that, you know, he went across the Atlantic too. What a shot! Price down and maybe out as the referee administering the count. The right hand delivers just like that. Deontay Wilder picks up his 26th knockout in his 26th pro bout.
For his 27th professional fight, Deontay Wilder faced Matthew Greer. Matthew Greer had 40 professional bouts. He won 16 of those fights. 13 of those wins came by way of knockout. He also suffered 24 defeats. 12 of those defeats came by way of knockout. If you don't understand the stats I just told you, every time Matthew Greer stepped in the ring, it was a 40% chance he would win the fight. He had a greater chance of losing the fight than he had a chance of winning the fight. Look at his KO percentage, rounded off to basically 30%. Matthew Greer was first knocked out by Kevin Johnson, and then James Lights Out Tony, and then he was knocked out by Dennis, and then he was knocked out by Oscar Rivas. He got a quick win in between Jason Nicholson, who had a record of 18 wins, 29 defeats, and 2 draws. And that's when Deontay Wilder said, for my 27th professional fight, a guy who has title aspirations, I'm going to take on this man who's been defeated over and over and over again. Greer went down 3 times before being TKO'd in the 2nd round. After Deontay Wilder knocked out Matthew Greer, Andy Ruiz joined in on the fun. And then Jordan Schimmel. And then Huey Fury. And then Shannon the Cannon Briggs. And then Aaron Green. Until he was KO'd by Lucas Brown. What I'm saying to you is, a resume booster is a resume booster. Are you impressed?
26 knockout, quiere el 27, la izquierda que entra y vuelve a meter el hachazo a la zona hepática. Lo desinfló, lo dejó sin aire. Por supuesto que se va a la lona. Me parece que esto no va a ser huesos viejos. Está en malas condiciones. No puede seguir ya. Está mal. Que venga de una vez a finiquitar el asunto. Ahí lo está conectando. Ya es demasiado castigo, hombre, ya. Se acabó, por supuesto. A dormir temprano.
For his 28th professional fight, Deontay Wilder fought Audit Harrison. This is the very definition of watch for the hook. You will probably hear them tell you he was an Olympic gold medalist and he had so much promise and that he was a quality opponent. But let's break down the facts. He won the Olympic gold medal in the year 2000. 2000. That's when he won the Olympic gold medal. When Deontay Wilder fought him, it was 2013. He was 13 years removed from winning the Olympic gold medal. And let's be clear, just because you win an Olympic gold medal, it doesn't guarantee you success in the professional rankings. Just ask David Reed. Ask Oscar De La Hoya when he fought Felix Trinidad. As an amateur, David Price showed more promise than Tyson Fury. As an amateur, Dillian White beat Anthony Joshua. In the pros, it's a different story. However, Audit Harrison did win an Olympic gold medal in the year 2000. He suffered his first professional knockout to Michael Sprott. Fair play to him. He would avenge that loss by knocking out Michael Sprott in a rematch. But after that rematch, he fought David Hay. David the Haymaker Hay. And David Hay knocked him out. TKO in the 3rd round. Then he fought David Price. David Price fought Audit Harrison for his 14th professional fight. And he TKO'd him in the 1st round. Audit Harrison had his last professional fight, April 27th, 2013, against Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder. Deontay Wilder fought him for his 28th professional fight, in comparison to David Haye, who fought him for his 26th professional fight, and in comparison to David Price, who fought him for his 14th professional fight. In fact, Deontay Wilder was his last professional fight. Deontay Wilder TKO'd him in the first round. Watch for the hook. Audit Harrison's 3 fights before Deontay Wilder were 3-rounders. He fought Derek Rossi, and he TKO'd him in the second round, 2 rounds out of the 3-round fight. Then he fought Martin Rogan, and he won a unanimous decision. It was a 3-round fight. Just look at the score totals. And then he fought Claus Bertino, and he TKO'd him in the first round out of a 3-round fight. And then he went from fighting those 3-rounders to stepping in the ring with Deontay Wilder for the last fight of his career, Deontay Wilder's 28th professional fight, after knocking out his prior 27 opponents, to fight a 12-round fight. Does that not seem like the fix is in? Does that not seem like a resume booster? Does that not seem like a chance to say Deontay Wilder beat a former Olympic gold medalist without saying that this man was a gold medalist in 2000 and way past his prime? Was basically fighting 3-rounders. For what? Maybe the money. Who knows? But guess what, Deontay Wilder? We see it. We're not food. But tell me, are you impressed?
Tentative opening from both men. Literally just feeling each other out with that jab. There's the right hand, that's the big shot. And he goes looking for Harrison straight away. The first punch he's landed has put Harrison down in the corner. First big punch put Harrison down. Can he get up? Or his leg's going to betray him? He manages to get to his feet just. And the referee stopped it. Terry O'Connor stopped it.
In his 29th professional bout, Deontay Wilder faced Sergey Likovich. This represented a step up in class. Even at the time, I thought, wow, Deontay Wilder's stepping it up. He's fighting the former WBO heavyweight champion of the world. But then, as I got wiser, as I got older, and I did my research, I realized, watch for the hook. I will exploit the hook right now. Sergey Likovich had 35 professional fights. He won 27 of those fights. 17 of those wins came by way of knockout. He suffered 6 defeats. He had a KO percentage of under 50%. Still, his KO percentage represented a step up in class for Deontay Wilder. Sergey turned pro in 1998. He fought Deontay Wilder in 2013. Now, let's talk about his career. Sergey won the title from Layman Brewster in 2006 by unanimous decision. In his first title defense, he lost the title in a TKO loss to Shannon the Cannon Briggs. Now, let's talk about his next knockout. He fought Robert Helenius. Robert Helenius fought Sergey in his 16th professional fight. Deontay Wilder fought him in his 29th professional fight. Robert Helenius knocked him out. Then he faced Bryant Jennings, where he retired in the corner. And then Deontay Wilder, king of the leftovers, said, "Give him to me." But not exactly after Bryant Jennings knocked him out. Take a look at the date he fought Bryant Jennings. It was March 24th, 2012. When he fought Deontay Wilder, it was August 9th, 2013. Okay, so 1 year would be March 24th, 2013. Bang, a year. A year and basically 5 months had passed. Sergey was inactive for a year and a half. And that's when Deontay Wilder, the king of the leftovers, said, "You know what you must do. You bring him to me. I'll put him in a microwave and deliver a speedy knockout. And that's what he did. Deontay Wilder knocked him out in the first round. Sergey then went on to fight Chad Davis, a man who had 5 wins, 11 defeats, and 0 wins. You know, a resume booster. He won a unanimous decision, and that's when they threw him in with Andy Destroyer Ruiz, and Andy beat him. Do you see how resume boosters work? Once they smell blood in the water, Robert Helenius got him, then Bryant Jennings got him, then after a 1.5 year layoff, Deontay Wilder got him, and then Andy Ruiz got him. Also notice how Andy Ruiz appears on the resume of a lot of Deontay Wilder's victims. But some people will say, oh, it's Andy Ruiz fought. But why do you hold that opinion for Andy Ruiz, but you don't hold that opinion for Deontay Wilder? They fought a lot of the same guys. You even see Robert Helenius and Bryant Jennings on a lot of Deontay Wilder's opponents' resumes. But yeah, Deontay Wilder, he knocked out Sergey. But are you impressed?
That more tonight. Good quick left hand shown by Wilder. There's a right hand, drives Lakovic into the ropes. Down he goes. And it's over. Just like that. Hello. Goodbye.
Stay, Sergey. Sergey, stay. Don't move, buddy. You're okay. Stay right here. Stay right here.
For his 30th professional fight, Deontay Wilder fought Nikolai Furta. Now, you hear me say that these guys are an elite level competition. And of course, Nikolai Furta was not. But the one thing he has is my respect. If I could rate his heart, I would give him a 100. This man did not step in the ring to lie down and kiss the rings of Deontay Wilder. Yes, he was knocked out 4 times prior to stepping in the ring with Deontay Wilder. And one of the men who knocked him out prior to Deontay Wilder might surprise you. And he did it before Deontay Wilder. And he did it in a quicker number of fights than Deontay Wilder. So, think about that. But anyways, this man was supposed to be a resume builder. And he was indeed a resume builder. But it wasn't an easy one. Nikolai Furta, you have my respect. He fought 33 professional fights. He won 8 of those fights by knockout. He has a knockout percentage of 24%, 11 defeats. 5 of those defeats came by way of KO and 1 draw. Now, let's dive in. The first person to knock Nikolai Furta out was James Norvany, then Josu Blockus, and then Ty Fields. And then, yes, everyone, the Gypsy King himself, Tyson Fury, knocked Nikolai Furta out in his 16th professional fight. In his 16th professional fight, and before Deontay Wilder in 2011. Deontay Wilder was the last fighter Nikolai Furta ever faced in 2013. Yes, that's right. Guys, Tyson Fury was fighting in his 16th professional fight in 2011. Deontay Wilder fought for his 30th fight 2 years later in 2013. Deontay Wilder knocked him out in the 4th round. Congratulations. But tell me, are you impressed? In his 31st professional fight, Deontay Wilder faced Malik Scott. Now, time for a shameless plug. If you haven't checked out our videos, please review Deontay Wilder under investigation for fixing a pro fight in 2014. And then review the video, Proof, Wilder vs. Scott was fixed. You know my feelings on Malik Scott. If you take a look at these videos, it's practically a waste of time to even dive in this because we've already gone over this at length. But I'll give a brief synopsis of Malik Scott, but I encourage you to check out those videos. Again, those videos are Deontay Wilder under investigation for fixing a fight in 2014 and Proof, Wilder vs. Scott was fixed. I'll say this much. Typically, we don't have a Patreon, we don't ask for donations, but please, if you get the chance, just like, share, and subscribe to our channel. And if you can, follow our social media pages as well. It would give us what we need to keep producing the content for you. Diving into Malik Scott. Malik Scott is, well, Floyd Mayweather Sr. once said he was the former fighter turned poetic writer. Malik Scott is the former fighter turned Boudini Brown. Now, Malik Scott finished his career with 42 bouts. 38 of those fights were wins. 13 of those wins came by way of knockout. Malik Scott lost 3 times. 2 of those losses came in the form of knockout. Malik Scott, KO percentage, 31%. Now this is very important because Malik Scott had a decent record. But let's look at the opponents he's faced. You see it highlighted. He didn't face the best level of competition. And even when he did, he rarely knocked them out. Take a look. Unanimous decisions against lower level competition. And he stepped it up against Deontay Wilder. When Malik Scott faced Deontay Wilder, his record was 36 wins, 1 defeat, and 1 draw. But that 1 defeat is what we really need to examine. That 1 defeat came to none other than Derek Ward Chisora. And Derek Ward Chisora is the first one to knock out Malik Scott. Derek Ward Chisora knocked Malik Scott out. And that's when Malik Scott fought a guy named Grover Young. 7 wins, 12 defeats, 1 draw. And he got a TKO victory. And that's when he stepped in the ring with Deontay Wilder. And the fix was in. This was a title eliminator fight. Whoever won this fight was going to fight for the title. Deontay Wilder stepped in the ring with his old buddy, and his old buddy took one for the team. You've seen, by this point, all of Deontay Wilder's prior 30 knockouts. You've seen the velocity that he hits these guys with. You see how hard he throws the punches. You see the way he celebrates when he knocks them out. You see the way the guys react. Take a look at this fight. But take a look at our prior videos, though. I'm not going to do too much with this. I'm done with this. This is a joke. Seriously. Are you impressed?
Well, look at it in slow motion. You'll get a chance to see some of the things Paulie was talking about. The jabs.
And again, see, come around the side. The right hand looked like it didn't land clean, but man, this goes to show you the power of this guy. He's got all knockout wins. But again, the left hand comes around the side. Scott, whatever part of the right hand did hit him, he didn't see it because he was looking all left hand the whole time.
A lead left hook, followed by the lethal right hand, a crushing combination.
And yet another look, the feeling out hook. Now, seriously, part of that punch landed, but it bounced off the glove. And some of the fans are actually booing when they look at the replay. But the power of Wilder, Malik Scott didn't come here to fall down. So
he's
clearly,
only been down once in his career prior.
And I think the temple shot to the left head may have had an impact and may have been an equilibrium shot. But that right hand did not land perfect.
Deontay Wilder's 32nd fight was against a man named Jason Gavin. Jason Gavin had 52 professional fights, 27 victories, 12 by knockout, 21 losses. 11 of those defeats came by way of knockout. His knockout percentage, under 25, at 23%. His alias, The Sensation, because he was known for getting knocked out in sensational fashion. We dive into his resume. This man was clearly a resume builder. When you take a look at his resume, you can see he was in light against light competition. He was knocked out by Dennis Boystoff. And then he retired in the corner against Franklin Lawrence. And then he fought Alexander. He was KO'd. And then he fought Leif Larson, and he was TKO'd. And then he fought Lucas Brown, and he was TKO'd. And then he fought Amir Mansour, and he was TKO'd. In the sport of boxing, even a resume builder needs a resume builder. And it is for that reason they threw Jason Gavin in the ring with Joseph Raybot. You remember him, don't you? Deontay Wilder's fourth fight. After a layoff, Deontay Wilder would step in the ring and beat on Jason Gavin, and Jason Gavin would retire in the corner. Referee technical decision. Jason Gavin went on to build other resumes, such as Gerald Washington and Anthony Joshua. But before you're too harsh on Anthony Joshua, just remember, Deontay Wilder fought him in his 32nd fight. Gerald Washington fought him in his 16th fight, and Anthony Joshua fought him in his 11th fight. Please visit the description box and follow us on social media. Our links are in the description box. Please, this is important. We need your support. Creating content is not easy, but it's worth it, and it inspires when you get the support from the people who view the videos. So please check the description box, click on the links, and follow us on social media. Here's Deontay Wilder's 32nd professional fight against Jason Gavin. Tell me, are you impressed?
Jason Gavin is Wilder's opponent here. He took this fight on 6 days' notice, and he's a good 8 to 10 pounds heavier than usual. As for the reach, Wilder has that big reach advantage. To that, I say, what's new?
And he calls a knockdown.
3, I'll tell you about it later. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hey, turn around. Look at me. Walk. You know I don't have a hand in the head. You're going like this. That's why you're getting hit there. You're bending your head too low. Keep your head up. Behind the head. Give me water. Give me water. Get him wet. Raise this, please. Hey, breathe. Just breathe. Just breathe right now. Try to calm yourself down. I know you're getting tired. 6 days notice, baby. You're doing great. Breathe. Give me a deep one. Come on. Hey, stay with me. Stay with me.
Action from round 3. We take a look at this knockdown that Gavin disputed. Watch Gavin bend his head, drop his head down. That's why he got hit. I guess it was behind the head. Hard to tell. At least partly behind the head. And we could tell here. Yeah, it looked like to the ear, the left ear of Gavin. People expect him to blow this guy out.
Another big right hand by Wilder.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
There's your Ric Flair shout. But Jason Gavin, he said, come on, baby, come back with the hook.
Wilder would have been knocked out without much effort from Wilder. Malik Scott among them. Gavin's a legit tough guy.
You got pushed. Give me your gloves. Crown's over. Just stop at the belt. Johnson, go back to your corners.
Jack Reed, you heard him. He called that one a push.
You don't know you want to finish one more. Stop. No. Stop the fight. We done. We're done. We done. Stop.
And you just heard Gavin say stop the fight. He took the fight on 6 days' notice. He didn't have the gas.
He told us yesterday that he was trained for a 4 or 5 round fight, and that's exactly what he gave. He threw a few right hands, nothing happened. He started getting pounded a little bit by both the jab and the right hand, and that was it.